Hello, friends! I think everything is working. You should be able to see me. You should be able to hear me. How is everybody, my friends? Hello, the Mad Lad. Hello, Shot the Alpaca. Hello, Peter. Oh my goodness, I'm getting higher and higher pitched. Everything's working! Heck yeah! I still had Chaos Octopus Cam on when I turned on OBS this morning. So I was like, oh boy, it might be one of those days. We're starting a brand new map over here in Duckland. Our space map had gotten pretty full, so we are starting with Hadriel, our default duck, and we are starting with our yellow duck box toy, who we always get to start with as well. So this is the default map, the Infinity Cool, where we'll just be chillaxing with some brand new ducks. So the duck pond will slowly fill as our meter continues to fill. And this boy over here, I tried to give him back to his original owner, Macklefish. And he said someday you're gonna realize that that duck is yours. So this is our duck now, guys. This is our sweet boy. He sits on my desk. He chills with us. He doesn't have a name. He is sadly mute. He doesn't squeak anymore. So he cannot regale us with the song of his people. But he's our boy. He's our sweet boy. And he lives with us now. Hang on, I'll put him there so you guys can see him. Loud and clear, Captain. Heck yeah. Canada's pop princess, Carly Rae. I don't know who that is. Everything is working if you believe, but nothing is working if you doubt. It's too early for philosophy, Peter. We have Mad Waterboy for ourselves. Heck yeah. Oh, we've got the duck with the missing thing on the back. First and only vote for Ducko's name is Peter the Great. Mazel tov on our ducky boy. Yeah! I'm assuming Macklefish is for anyone who doesn't know, because he usually doesn't come into my streams because he's working at this time. He comes into Ghost Pepper streams. He's a real life friend of ours. He runs our Friday night D&D sessions that are mostly made up of Ghost Pepper's coworkers plus me. I got to play the wife card to get into the staff D&D game. I was at 27, now I have 3, but it's a happy party. Peter, listen, you had to take care of yourself that day. You are still appreciated. It is a, what would it be, 29 stream streak in my heart. Absolutely. Your support is appreciated no matter the number after your streak. And that goes for everyone. If you miss a stream, do not feel guilty. People have things going on. People need to be elsewhere. I totally get that. I appreciate every day that people are here. Even if it's only for a few minutes, because you guys are amazing. But yeah, Macklefish is the real life friend of ours, runs our D&D sessions, our off-stream D&D sessions on Friday, and he's a programmer, so I assume that he has a bunch of rubber ducks, because if you don't know, it's a programming trick that you're supposed to keep a rubber duck on your desk. And if you start to have problems with your code or something isn't working, you can talk through it with your duck. You basically explain it to the duck, and then that helps you figure out how to get it working. So I'm assuming that he has extra ducks, and that is why we have been gifted this sweet mute duck boy to hang out on our streams. Clown duck will spawn, and when they do the prophecy... Wait. What's the prophecy, the mad lad? We can't have any prophetic ducks up in here. Is this like doom for the ducks when the clown duck spawns? I don't like that idea. Sometimes you have to fall down to climb all the way to the top once more. I'm a programmer too, and I often talk to my cat. See, that makes sense. I have this guy as well on my desk. This is a listening stone. And he listens to me, and I talk to myself a lot. I talk through plot stuff. I talk through schedule stuff. It was funny because one time I like half jokingly told Ghost Pepper that I had a lunch meeting to discuss my upcoming schedule, and he knew that I meant that I talked it out loud to myself. The clown duck will fulfill the prophecy upon summoning. I have said too much already. The mad lad. No, what are you doing to our poor ducks? Also, I showed this off for anyone who didn't get to see it already. Ghost Pepper got this sweet boy for me while I don't know why I call everything a sweet boy. Listen, Ghost Pepper told me I'm basically the romantic languages. I got this sweet boy from Ghost Pepper. He bought it for me on his trip. And you guys can't see, the octopus is over with Nessie. But you guys can't see, but I also got this really cool gift from a friend of mine for my birthday. Her mom 3D printed it out for me, and it's a dragon. It's a dice, so you can kind of see it's a dice holder. You put the D20 in. I have it displaying the awesome 20. This is one of my adventure dice, advent calendar dice. And this is this cute, sweet dragon boy. I don't know if you can see all the details on the camera. And sometime this summer, the friend who gave this to me is going to come over and we're going to paint him. We're going to paint a bunch of 3D printed stuff, but I'm going to paint him. I have to decide what he's going to look like. It's going to be super cute. I talk to myself, but only when inner voice says something and I have to disagree with it. But that's like every second for me, Peter. I'm constantly disagreeing with myself. Octopus and Nessie make a baby. Nessie puss? Or is it adorable, Peter? Terrifying or adorable? You decide. If someone gets paid soon, someone might have a large Amazon basket ready for me to click buy. Uh-oh. The mad lad. Exiled, Faye! Welcome in! How's it going? Did you see my dragon? Did you see my dragon dice holder? That was gifted to me for my birthday. 3D printed by a friend of mine's mom. So adorbs. Mad lad, make sure you take care of yourself first. I mean, you do you, but don't spend too much money if you don't have it. The way I see Nessie Puss is the body of Nessie with the tentacles of the octopus that can go up on land and still further away cows and sheeps. That tracks! Someone might have a collection they need to complete and start about 5 new ones. Well, the mad lad, if that someone is you, thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate your support. Isn't it adorable? Yeah, you can't see the dragon consistently because he's off camera. My plan is to put a different dye in there every week. So this week I have my sparkly This has little, like, tin sparkles in it. That makes it look like a gem. From Adventure Dice. And I'm waiting for some new dice to come. So I'll have a new die in there next week. I'm gonna say your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Is it, Myrii? Is that how you say it? I know you've told me before and I've totally forgotten. I'm so sorry. Welcome in! Super cute. I want one. Yes. I don't know what model she used. I'll have to ask. Myrii. Thank you. I knew that you had told me and I was like, oh no, my brain is doing the thing with names again. How's it going, Myrii? Yeah, I can ask her which model she used as well. Cause she downloads them all from online. Like she buys new sets of like, models and stuff. Let me turn the music down just a tiny bit here. Cause I feel like I'm yelling over it. I do have noise canceling headphones on though, so. My bank is sending me a free 100 for being a member, and that pays for 61% of it already. Damn! When you think about it, it's basically free. That's like, we got a rebate. We got a nice rebate from our car insurance this year. And Ghost Pepper was like, I'll take it. I don't get a chance to drop by too often. Hey, no worries. I appreciate you dropping by when you can. I was just saying before, everybody got real life going on. Everybody got to take care of themselves first. I appreciate when people drop by, no matter how long it's for, no matter how often in between. Debating on writing or cleaning. Go for writing. I mean, cleaning, Writing, yes. Don't want to scare you, but you might want to watch the ducks. Well, I am not supposed to watch the ducks. The ducks are supposed to be for you guys. I'm supposed to be working, technically, and you guys are supposed to be keeping an eye on the ducks if you wanna. But I don't see any, clown ducks yet, so... please give me an excuse to put off the cleaning. Yes, you don't get to, if you don't get to write very often, or if you don't usually have a full day to write, like you gotta take advantage of that, right? Days off are for fun, not for chores, says the woman who does all of her chores on Sunday. Shh. You're more invested in the ducks. I am too invested in the ducks. I do pay a lot more attention to the duck antics than I really should. That is true. That does happen. That is a thing. Today, I'm going to be doing book formatting. So kind of like when we did the world building stream on Thursday, I'm not going to be as hardcore about doing sprints and not talking during them. Usually during my actual like writing and editing streams, I go quiet for half an hour, do my work, and then we chat, and then I go quiet again, and so on. Today I can be a little bit more engaged with chat throughout because I'm going to be doing something that won't require like the fullness of my attention. I can glance away more often without losing my place. Pie's here. I will run the sprint timer. I'm gonna start it here pretty soon, as I open my file and sort of get into everything. But I can be a little bit more chatty than usual, because I'm formatting today. And I don't want to say that it's like an autopilot process, but it is pretty repetitive. I'm basically going through and getting each chapter to look the way that I want it to look on a page, adding in, so I can kinda, if I get to a point where I'm not showing too many spoilers here, I can kind of show you, whoops, excellent camera work. So I can kind of show you, I'm basically laying out each chapter. I have to add in these cute little things here, and just getting everything formatted and aligned properly. And then if we get that far, I have to do chapter labels, which are these chapter labels are much easier than the ones that I did for the last book series. But then we just have to put all the chapter labels in, and then I can email Molly, my lovely cover artist, not my lover, and tell her how many pages the book is. Come on. There it goes. So that she can make the cover for me. Also, I think I've missed a bunch of hydrates. We've got 2 from the Mad Lad, we've got 1 from Pi, and we've got a posture check. Pi, how's it going? Enjoy your lurk? Trying to think with portals. Good luck, Pi. Are you playing Portal 1 or Portal 2? A 1. A 2. A 3. 3 licks to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. Every time. I need to write a backstory for my D&D character in a new campaign we're getting ready to start. A celestial warlock who's going to be a primary healer. Interesting. That sounds very cool. Sunday is my work day because the pressure gives that final push for me to complete the task. It doesn't work for cleaning. I do the house cleaning. Saturday is my lazy day. Sunday is my house cleaning day. And then Sunday night, we do movie night. Currently playing a genie warlock who is a malnourished child. I did die, but I became reborn to haunt the players a little longer. And used to work in a circus. He gets his name the Juggler because he used to be a juggler, but wished for more power by a genie, hence the patron, and now he wants to live a free life, but needs money, so he uses his magic to earn money. Wait, so the Mad Lad, you're basically playing the Clown Duck in your D&D campaign. Food for thought. I wanted to play a healer, but I didn't want to be a cleric. Interesting. She's a spoiled Aasimar noble whose patron sent her down the adventuring road to keep my friend's characters alive through some mysterious change that's coming. Sounds very cool. The player killed me on purpose, so the reborn was really funny. That is funny. Listen, sometimes my tongue has different plans than my brain, Peter. That's how it goes. Janine, hello. Gonna walk for a bit, but I have good news. Let us know when you're back from your walk. First time playing Portal. Portal is one of my all-time favorite games. I love both the first one and the second one. Have fun with it, Pi. Enjoy breaking your brain over some of those puzzles. Reminds me of my rogue Cherry, whose real name is Charity, who routinely asks people to donate to charity. I did once create, in 3rd edition, so in 5th edition, when you play a paladin, your paladin doesn't need to have a deity. Paladins now get their power from their belief in themselves, rather than from a specific deity, the way clerics do. But in D&D 3rd edition, and in D&D 3.5, paladins needed to have deities in the same way that clerics do. So I created a cleric, or not a cleric, a paladin of the money god. And his job was to go around and sell wards, and like little charm spells and enchantments and stuff to make money for the church, because he was a paladin of the money cleric, and so he always would charge for his services. And people would be like, oh yeah, I could use like an anti-theft charm, and he's like, all right, here's the price. And then people were like, and I loved him. He was ridiculously silly and adorable, and I loved him. The prophecy! No, the Mad Lad. We've said too much. Oh my goodness. I saw this character idea where it's a cleric that is based on the American healthcare system, and I think it's ingenious and I want to try it. Oof. Portal and Portal 2 is one of my all-time favorite games too. I cried at the end of Portal 2. Yes, Portal 2 was really good. They found a way to take it up a notch, for sure. Oh hey, speak of the devil. There he is now. So yeah, let me get all set up here. I think I've already gotten the first 9 chapters of this settled. I have to find where I stopped. I managed to get done a little bit early with my work on Friday, so I was able to get some of this started. So I basically have to go through and finish formatting my chapters, and then I have to go through and put in all of the pretty chapter breaks. And then once all the pretty chapter breaks are in there, I have to go through and do the table of contents. And once the table of contents is finished, then we do chapter headings. So we'll see how far we get today. I definitely did not get my camera back in the right place after I moved it. I want Portal 3 more than my human soul can say, but Portal 2 is one of the most amazing endings in video game history, possibly entertainment history. Look, Space Spear was my dude. If you haven't played Portal 2, then you won't have met Space Sphere. But he was my dude. I resonated with him. Just gotta blow my nose here quickly. Also, the Lemons rant is, I think, one of my all-time favorite video game clips. Pi, only 30? Only 30! Thank you so much, Pi, for always taking care of the streamer, making me hydrate, hanging out, chillaxing, telling me that I'm lying to you when I'm not. I appreciate you. Space Sphere is my bestie. I spent months saying, hey lady, wanna go to space, to my ex? Space! Adventure Sphere was pretty rad too, but Space Sphere was where it was at. Our long-running campaign started in 2013, started in 3.5, but I never really got to see other characters. My character was a ranger that took a bunch of skills that led her to be a bard. We had a calamity that moved us to 5th edition. She's currently a level 9 bard, College of Lore, and level 8 ranger, modified beast enclave. It's been fun. DM says there's only like 6 sessions left. Dang! You guys are getting to the end. That sounds amazing. I'm already stumped at a puzzle. Listen, Pi, just screw around with the portals until you figure it out. It's fun. You'll die a lot, but it's fun. I think one of the most fun things about Portal is all the crazy ways that you can accidentally murder yourself. Alright, I'm going to test how hot my coffee is. Maybe I'll get up and give my coffee a cheeky heat here, and then what I'll do for everyone else who also wants to try to be productive today is I will turn on the sprint timer. I might be a little bit more chatty during the sprint timer than I usually am, so if you need to mute me, all's well. I will put the sprint timer up for anyone who wants to use it, and I will start doing this formatting. Think with portals, Pi. You can do it. I will leave you guys with the ducks. I won't pause them. I won't do a proper break just yet. Look at all these ducks we've got already. Who's down here? Oh, Lucifer down alone in the small pool. We've got Crossword Duck. We got Uncle Al. We got the 8-Ball. We got Lilith. We got Brian from Monster Pram. Working on your new book! Heck yeah, Peter! I was so excited when you mentioned the idea. Okay, I'll be back 1 minute. go. Pie ready for me to come back with fresh hot coffee and 2 new hydrates. Heck yeah. All right. Let's get my mouse out of the game so I don't give us all whiplash. Let's do 30 minutes on the clock for those who are doing productivity. Good luck. And I just got to reorient myself. One thing I will say is when you are writing, use whatever makes you happy, but when you are formatting, styles are your friend. They make things so much faster. So that's heading to... Oops. Fuck. Oops. Okay. I remember how Word works. Totally. There we go. I recognize this song. I may require you to poke your clever brain for advice shortly at some point because life is hard and I mean, go ahead and ask, Peter. Like I said, I can be a little bit more chatty today because I can look away from what I'm doing without losing my focus. Found the first Ratman hideaway. Yes. Hell yeah. Ratman is our best boy. One of the bestest boys. I don't think he's spawned yet, Mad Lad. I want to witness the descent. So worried about this. There are like 130 ducks, so it may take a while. Oops. They're related to the radios, Pi. They're kind of an extra thing that they added in after my first playthrough, but they have to do with the radios. You can always replay and find them like on your second playthrough as well. I've got this document and I'm working on it, and right now it just looks like a Word document. How do I make it look like a book? How do I take this document and put it into book form? I do have a blog that I think tells you, if you're looking at like how to format an ebook or a paperback book, I do have some blogs that explain how to do that. Hang on and I'll dig them up for you in the break. But it's basically just a matter of formatting, of knowing. I am using Word 2007. I'm using an ass-old version of Word. I do recommend some form of word processing program. I know a lot of people like to use Google Docs these days, but Google Docs is not a proper word processor. It does not have the formatting power that something like Word or LibreOffice. Like, you don't have to have a paid program like Word or Scrivener or whatever, but you should have some form of word processor. LibreOffice, OpenOffice isn't supported anymore, but it does the same stuff, because you really, really need it for formatting. If you're not writing in there, fine, but if you want the formatting power of a word processing program, then you have to have a word processor at some point. I don't have the most modern version of Word. I have 2007. But you can still ask your question and I can see if I can answer it for you. When I was a student in school back in the age of the dinosaurs, I got a free copy of Word Enterprise, like Microsoft Office Enterprise, because we were computer students. And somebody figured we might need that, and the key still works. So, the transmissions are not as, the transmissions are related to the Ratman. So, they're not as frequent as the cameras. Staretra, hello, hello. I got my Microsoft Office during uni too. Heck yeah. Yeah, if you can take advantage of like student offers, some of those things last forever, man. And I've only ever found one feature that doesn't work in my version of Word, and I can use LibreOffice for it. So, Microsoft Works 7, copyright 2007. So you're using one that's about as old as the one I'm using. What is your question, the Mad Lad? Oops. Fuck. When you say book, do you mean the formatting or 2 pages? Yeah, so I have blogs for formatting ebooks and formatting a paperback, which are it's different. The process is different. The way that you format an ebook is quite a bit different from the way that you format a book that you're reading. I'm doing a paperback right now, so it's a lot more fiddly. There's a lot more things to keep track of. Which is why you hear me muttering curses to myself as often as I am. Oops. May the page numbers remain in the right places. Oh, page numbers are the worst. I'm screwing with those right now. Basically, when you format for an ebook, you want it to be one continuous page for each chapter so that the ebook reader will format according to whatever device people are reading on. But when you're formatting for a paperback, you have to have everything laid out in exactly the way it's going to print, which is a pain in the dick. And page numbers are a pain because if your chapter starts on a different thing, then you have to fiddle with the page numbers. Page numbers are hoes, Peter. They really are. I hate them. They're one of the most pain in the dick parts of formatting. Case in point, every time I have to fiddle with a page number, I save right before that just in case everything goes to hell. One manuscript I formatted constantly had little boxes showing up at the end of every chapter and in random spots. I had to go through and remove every single one. It took hours. Oh no! No, there's still like no one would notice this if I didn't say anything. But if anyone has the paperback of the Everyone's Child books, in both cases for the table of contents, on the like top part of the table of contents page where it says table of contents, the T in table is not, it doesn't print out like the like little curly Q that's supposed to be on the T, and I can't figure out why. It's the only page that does that, and I've never been able to fix it, and it does it in both books. So at least it's consistent, at least it looks kind of intentional, but I don't know why it does that, and I had to let it go. I had to let it go because I can't, you can still read it, it's fine, it doesn't look terrible, but it drives me nuts because I can't fix it. I don't know why it does that. So when you format in a word processor, you find all kinds of weird shit like that, and sometimes you just kind of have to work around it. The life of a writer. Absolutely. Someday you're going to be screwing with formatting and screaming at your word processor and saying, why is this my life? But that's what we do. It is, in fact, what we do. Although some people pay for formatting so that they don't have to deal with that shit. Whoops. Kind of like being in control of it all, even if it frustrates me sometimes. Oh, absolutely. I feel the same way. I love the creative freedom. I love setting my own schedule. You know, I love working with my cover artist and always getting, you know, like, sometimes I don't even know what I want, and she gives me something and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. I just didn't know it yet. And it's amazing. Like, I imagine that people who traditionally publish have good experiences with their publisher, and that's great. I certainly wish that I knew how to sell my work better, but I do love having my fingers in every part of the process. It's, you know, I always know that the book is going to look the way I want it to look. And if I'm really unhappy with something, I can reformat it, re-upload it. Like, I can have crossovers with my books sometimes. I can go out and do other creative projects and not worry that my publisher is going to be like, yeah, you can't use your own characters that way. I get the feeling of accomplishment when it's done. Absolutely. You lose some of the creative aspects of a traditionally published work. For sure. There's always the business contract. There's always, like, you know, some writers are really savvy and they do maintain their rights, but you have to know, like, you have to know what you're looking for in the legal contract. You have to know, like, you just have to know a lot about business in order to make a savvy decision on something like that. And I'm not here to like shit on traditional publishing or anything, but I'm glad that I ultimately decided to go the route that I went. You know, it has served me pretty well, and I've got an amazing partner who has made it possible for our finances to work. So yeah, my life isn't perfect, but it's pretty decent. So I'll take it. Stonks. The business of show business. Well, exactly. Like, I know there are stories about like authors who haven't been able to do tie-ins with certain characters because of the you know, IP rights that they sign over to the publisher, and the publisher wants to be able to sell movie rights without asking you about it. And you know, at the end of the day, publishers are a business. But for me, everything is the creative aspect first and the business aspect second, which on the one hand is probably not the best decision for my business, but it's the best decision for me as a creative. So that is true, Mad Lad. Nobody's life is perfect. And I certainly have my fair share of bad days, but I get to do something that I love every day, and I'm very, very grateful for that. You know, I won't name names because it would be maybe a little rude, but I do watch another streamer who, you know, makes their living off of their art and their streaming and whatnot. And in terms of business, they're massively more successful than me. They have a lot larger audience. They have a lot more money coming in from their work, but they talk a lot about how they don't have extra money. They're just barely scraping by. And so yeah, they're selling more than me, but you know, I have a comfortable life even though I have a smaller audience and less sales. So which is really better? Who can say which is better, right? You have to be careful of being jealous of other people's success because you don't necessarily know the full picture. You don't necessarily know what things are really like behind the curtain. So it's really important to look at yourself and look at your own progress and look at where you want to be, what makes you happy, and to define your success that way. Because otherwise you're just going to be chasing yourself in circles over possibly things that aren't even real. Like, we get little snapshots of other people's lives and we don't necessarily know what's going on with them. No, I'm not gonna name names. This is a streamer that I very much respect, whose art is beautiful, but also whose personal life is none of my business. I mean, I guess they have talked about it on stream, so you know, it's their thing to talk about, but it's a thing in the art world, in the creative world, you know, you're not it's not always clear what success really is or how far someone is toward their success. As much as my country is going downhill, I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity I've been granted with my autism, though they are trying to get rid of it in the Human Equality Act, so who knows? We see what people share, which are often idealistic. Yeah, and I mean, for obvious reasons, people keep things private and don't necessarily share everything. But it's important to keep that in mind in the age of social media. A lot of the time, it looks like someone's leading a way better life than maybe they actually are. Because they're not sharing the bad shit. They're not sharing the struggles. They're just sharing the ideal moments. And so people get this idea that, oh, that person has this idyllic life, and nothing ever goes wrong for them. And that's not true. And honestly, it is a major factor in depression in the modern world is because people constantly compare their lives to what they see on social media. And a lot of those social media influencers, like, they might look like they have glamorous lives on the surface, but underneath, like, they're a mess. And, you know, they're doing a lot of things that maybe they don't necessarily feel good about in order to maintain their position and maintain their lifestyle. So you got to know sometimes, like, what you're getting into, and how things really work. And again, not going to dunk on the traditional publishing industry. You know, people get book deals and people are happy with working with their publishers and all that. But for me, I really appreciate being in complete control of my creativity. And I don't know that that would be the case if I had gone the traditional route. Oops. Not do this out of order, or I'm gonna mess everything up. And then I have to reopen the document and pray I can get it to work again. I drive myself nuts with that. It's something I really need to deal with and handle better. It's hard. Like, it can be really hard too, especially like if you start at the same time as someone else and feel like they're more successful than you, or if you see someone who's just started a project and it seems like they're ultra successful, whereas you've been doing the same thing for years. Like, you got to keep in mind that like a lot of people when I first started streaming were like, wow, you got like to affiliate really quickly, and you had like people hanging out in your streams really early on, which is not the case for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people stream to the void at first. And I was like, yeah, but I hung out on Twitch for like 2 years before I started streaming. So by the time I actually hit, you know, start streaming, I knew a bunch of people. I had hung out with a bunch of other streamers. I had appeared on a bunch of different channels. I had a bunch of people asking me when I was going to do streams. I had a bunch of people that had already followed me before I even decided to set up like my account for streaming. So it might have seemed like I turned on my camera and it just happened, but there was like 2 years of like pre-networking, inadvertent, but still there was like 2 years of pre-networking that happened. Before that, people in the community were already comfortable with me. You know, people in the community already knew what I was doing. And so they came over and hung out, right? And it shocked me too, because I was like, nah, my streams are going to be super boring. But there's a big difference between that and like when Ghost Pepper started streaming, we had barely touched Twitch at that point in time. We hadn't really done a lot. We didn't really know a lot of streamers. We didn't have a lot of networking opportunities. And so he did all of the hard breaking in, and I just kind of rode his coattails, right? Sometimes that happens. But then there's this perception that, oh, so-and-so is really popular because they just are an instant success. But they might have done 5 or 6 projects that failed before they did the successful one, right? So again, it's a perception thing. Sometimes I wish I could alleviate some of the hubbub of marketing social media promotion sales. Oh my gosh, big mood. I've had people be upset at me like that. No, it does suck. And another thing too that I think people didn't necessarily understand at the time that I started streaming is I had been around on social media doing social media marketing for so long that I knew how to come into my channel and instantly make it my space. Right? I knew how to dress up my profile. I knew how to put my about section together because I had done it several times already in other places, right? So you kind of osmose this knowledge as you go, and each time you branch out or do a new project. I mean, it was the same with Blue Sky. I haven't done a lot with Blue Sky, but when I moved into Blue Sky, it was really easy for me to establish myself there because I had already done it on Twitter. And so I already knew how to do it. And so if I really want to go about growing my audience there, like, I know all I have to do is put in the time. So it's the thing that you have to keep in mind. Like, that person that seems like an overnight success to you probably struggled with something for 6 years before they actually got to that point. You just don't know about that part yet. There's this absolute wee cow I know who I literally taught her everything she knows, and she does stuff for the BBC and other broadcasters, and she's as talented as my left butt cheek. That's the cheek I don't like. And yet it burns my ass that she's on the BBC and I'm not. But, Peter, you don't know necessarily how she got there. Like, maybe she knew somebody. Maybe she had a lucky in. Like, maybe she just does a type of content that has a broader appeal. Maybe you are a more niche form of content that, just because she's on the BBC doesn't mean she's better than you. And you probably have a lot more talent in your butt cheeks than you think you do. It's really hard. It's really hard to not feel competitive in the creative world. But it's such an objective thing, and it's such a personal process that you have to try to keep that perspective, or it will drive you crazy. Not trying to diminish the sentiment, but you said you taught her everything she knows, then said she's untalented, suggesting you're untalented. I think it's important to remember that you taught her that stuff. She took that stuff that you taught her and she used it. She might not have gotten there if she hadn't had a mentor. And maybe, Peter, maybe you didn't have that kind of mentor. Maybe you had to learn everything yourself, which is a factor as well. I certainly know that when people come to me for advice about self-publishing, I can tell them a lot more than I knew when I started. And I appreciate that. I appreciate being able to tell people, hey, this is what I do, and here's the tools, and this is what you need to know. But man alive, do I wish I had had someone to sit down and tell me that when I first started, because I feel like it would have gone so much better. Logic tells me she's worked hard and gotten there. However, that may be good for her, but I'm just 100% jealous. Yeah, but her success is not your failure, Peter. Just because she's succeeded does not mean that you haven't, or that you won't. Just because she's on the BBC doesn't mean that she's necessarily the most successful either. Maybe you are just not doing BBC content. Maybe your content is better for somewhere else. Maybe your audience isn't on BBC. Maybe your audience is on Spotify or on YouTube or on Twitch. Maybe your audience is hiding out in the dark cracks of the internet and you just have to find them. And it can be frustrating. Like I used to query for traditional publishers. I used to query with agents, and I used to get frustrated that they wouldn't tell me what it was about my work that they didn't really enjoy. And I got all the conflicting writing advice from everybody, and I've got my betas saying I want more world building, and then I've got someone else who's got a traditional agent saying no, you shouldn't do world building this early in the book. And it's how do you sort through those voices and decide what's right for you? But it's so important to keep in mind that, art is subjective and success is different for everyone. And maybe being on the BBC is a really awesome goal, but just because you're not on the BBC doesn't mean that you're a failure. Maybe you wouldn't enjoy being on the BBC as much as you think. Maybe this other person who's on the BBC, maybe she has to jump through a bunch of hoops that would actually be horrible. And you just don't know about them. I know she doesn't have a show, and I do. She just does cover projects when the cover of the main host isn't available. So I know I'm doing things that she isn't. Yeah. See? It's not always, the grass is not always greener on the other side. The biggest issue I have is that I am part of a writing group. And there is a negative view of me. Oh no! I write romance and erotica and I feel zero shame. 100% you should not feel any shame. But also write poetry and fiction. There seems to be this bias that happens for romance writers. There is, and it's a big problem. The majority of the group writes sci-fi, horror, fantasy. I write paranormal romance. I just don't get it. There is this view of my accomplishments as yay for you instead of something to celebrate. That's really shitty. What do you do? I'm curious, what do you do in this writing group? Because I don't think I am part of a specific writing group. What is it that you guys do in this writing group, and how can we get that for you without you having to put up with their shit? Kiki, hello, how's it going? I'm starting to do longer streams, and I have too many ideas. Nice! I hope things are going well for you. If I look into my heart at this point, with the way the BBC is operating at the moment, it's not where I should be. See? I think I'm not grown up enough for the BBC. Maybe when I'm more mature. Maybe you just have a different mindset, Peter. Like, again, at the end of the day, the BBC is a business, and they have to have a broad appeal at the BBC. You have a personality, and you let that personality come through in your work. Why would you whitewash your work? Why would you sterilize your work is more the word I'm looking for. Why would you sterilize your work and get rid of everything that's unique and good about it just so you could be on the BBC? I thought this was a good group, but there's one woman in the leadership position that looks down on my work. She defamed me in front of 12 other writers, but she is hardly around, and I noticed a behavior shift after she said it. Wow, Star Etra, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, is it just, do you just support each other? Do you beta for each other? Because if you're just looking for a place where you can hang out and talk to other writers and get support and get feedback and stuff, you can join our Discord. I don't know if you're on our Discord already, but there's a writing area of our Discord, Striker's Library. We sometimes, it's been pretty quiet in there lately, but we talk about writing, we talk about inspiration, we share memes, all that kind of stuff. If you're looking for like beta reading, it might be a little harder to find because I know a lot of our members are busy. But damn, like 3 to 4 edits means you don't have what it takes to finish a project. I do 3 rounds basic on every project. That's insane. I have 4 published novels and 10 books of poetry. I've been in 3 anthologies and a few literary magazines. And I thought 3 to 4 edits wasn't enough. Who is this woman? That's insane. Like, I do 3 edits minimum. You can't expect to get something perfect if you're not willing to go back in. Sometimes I change something 20 times before I'm happy with it. Oh my gosh. She sounds like a peach. What? Okay, I'm gonna hold in some words here. When does she do this edit? Is it before or after? Does she just show her raw shit to people and then do one edit? I need a minute. I need a minute. I don't. Oof. I mean, I guess you're not obligated to publish if you're really not in it for the goal, but to anybody who is gonna tell another writer that their process is wrong is full of shit. Because there is no one-size-fits-all writer process, right? I'm over here like I do 3 edits minimum. If you can do a project in 2 edits, cool, great. I think 1 is probably not enough. You probably need at least a second pass, but like if you can get to a point where you think your work is done and you're happy with it and you have a process that gets you there, that's great. But don't shove that process in some other writer's face and expect it to work for them. Everybody's brain works different, and most creatives are neurodiverse. Most of us are not neurotypical. Most of us do not think or interact with the world the way other people do. And so you need to find your own socks. You need to find your own socks. You need to find your own comfortable, cozy blanket that works for you. And if someone else is trying to force their blanket on you and their socks and like, you got to do it this way, that is toxic. That is toxic. She hasn't published a novel, but a story in their own anthology. We all have the same well. We all have our own process. Exactly. Criticize my work when I ask, but not me. Well, and criticizing you because of the genre you've chosen to write. Like, there's a huge, I could get on my major soapbox about this. There's a huge stigma against erotica and romance writing. And the number one reason why is because the largest group of writers in those genres are female. The romance genre is mostly written by women for women. Not always. Not always. There are male romance writers. There are male erotica writers. It's not, there are probably men who read in the romance genre as well. But it is a by women for women genre for the most part. And that means it gets shit on a lot, which is bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's high literary, like, classic or whatever. If that's what people want to read and if that's what people want to write, step off. Like, let people tell the stories they want to tell, and let people enjoy the stories they want to read and interact with and engage with. The fact that writers continue to stigmatize other writers because of the genre they choose to write in makes me want to smack people. And it's very important, like, that is not me getting on a feminist soapbox. It's very important that people understand that the history of stigmatizing romance as a genre is because it is primarily a by women for women genre. Right, thank you so much for that, Lurk. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Stairs in neurospicy. I like that. We are neurospicy. May I bing bong a reminder to the links in your blog? Yes, I will get those for you. I think part of it is you sold out for money and the lack of skill in writing, but I have built skills. Listen, there's a lot of shitty romance out there. I'm not going to say there's not, but there's a lot of really well-written romance out there too, and it takes just as much skill to write a well-written romance as it does to write a well-written fantasy or a well-written history or whatever. Like every genre, there's a lot of shitty fantasy out there. There's a lot of shitty sci-fi out there. It is what it is. I wonder if I may add a yes also to this, because I fully understand that it's for women. It's not necessarily just specifically for women. It's just that the largest audience is women. If you're a dude and you like romance, good for you. Like, there's nothing saying that you can't like it or write it. Just that the primary demographic is women. I feel, looking at criticism, and please correct me or deny me, it seems the industry took a big hit after 50 Shades hit big. I mean, 50 Shades made money, though. I don't think it was well written, but it made money. I don't mind people criticizing my work and telling me how to do things if you have the proof that your methods work. Don't tell me that I'm wrong if I'm blatantly more successful. See, I don't even think success is a measure of not telling people how to do their creative process. How you get the words out of your head, that comes down to you and no one else. Marketing, yeah, sure. There's expertise there. There's proven knowledge there. The publishing industry, the marketing industry, sure. There's proven information there. Writing, it's all you. It's all how you get it out. It's all whatever you do. 50 Shades make money, but it isn't written well, and the character Grey was written badly. Yes. But people do like it. That is the duality of creativity. Sometimes something is objectively bad, but people still like it. Like me in the original Judge Dredd movie. Objectively a bad movie. Still watch it whenever I'm sick and just want something that's really just bad, but also charming. All right, I am going to take a for reals break. I'm going to get up and move around because my Fitbit is about to go crazy because I have not gotten up this hour. I'm going to pause the ducks. We're going to go BRB. As soon as I get back, I'm going to get those links for Peter, and we are going to do another sprint so that I can get through some more of this formatting. This is a really interesting conversation. I'm not trying to cut it short. Please continue, but I do need to get up and move around. Please also remember to grab something to eat and or drink and move around as well, and we will be right back. have returned. We are resuming. Hang on, we gotta save the ducks. We gotta overwrite a previous game, but that's fine. We will save the ducks. We will resume the ducks. I am back. Ooh, the warden has joined us. Mysterious. The door will open when you find the... Ooh, mystery. I am back. Peter, you love the original Judge Dredd movie with Sylvester Stallone as well. I love that movie. It's objectively a bad movie, but I love it to bits. I know people don't like my work, but that's okay. But don't treat me poorly because you don't like our genre. Well, that's the thing, Star Etra. I'm sure there are people who love your work as well. And those are the ones that matter. Please do feel free to join our Discord if you're not already there. And if you are, please feel free to hang out in the writing chat area as much as you want. I don't know if we can replace everything that you get from the writing group, but you certainly deserve more support than it sounds like you get from them. I hate people who like put themselves into positions of authority in like any creative sphere, really, and then try to tell people that they're doing it wrong. Like, get out of here. You're just on a power trip. Make and Return is the best return apart from Return of the Jedi and Return of Spock. Those are great returns. That's true. Those are epic returns. This is Discord for the moment. There is something really... It was a very 90s movie. Kind of like Demolition Man. Another movie that is objectively bad, but that I could watch 3 million times. Top 3. I'll take it. I will take it. I'll take being grouped with Spock. All right, I'm gonna turn the sprint timer back on again, not to bring the conversation that was going on to a crashing halt. Please feel free to continue it. It's a very important conversation. But I'm also going to turn on the sprint timer for anyone who is doing the productivities. Conquest, how's it going? That thing that you posted for Canada, why can't I talk? Canada Day was super cool in the Discord. And when I saw it, I thought for a moment it was July 1st, and I panicked. But then I was like, oh no, he probably posted this early so we can actually use it for the 1st of July. Apparently I can't say Canada today. Oops. Gosh dang it. Why you gotta be like that? An air, a boot? Well, I'm only half Canadian. I was born in America, so... Have you heard the story of how Canada got its name? It's a really bad joke, but if you guys want to hear it, I'll tell it for you. Interesting. Interesting, Peter. I had not heard that. Fine, be that way. Be that way. To replace the chapter breaks with the fancy chapter breaks. And then I can send the page numbers on to my cover artist after lunch, which will be perfect. Always wanted to move to Canada, meet a nice Canadian lass, buy a house, get a job on the CBC, maybe replace Tom Power someday, and on weekends moonlight as a hockey commentator. I mean, there's still time, Peter. Now, table of contents. Brain 404'd for a second there. It's like, where do I have my list of chapters? I heard something weird happening in the house. What? Where'd you drunk? Alright, table of contents done. Now, chapter labels. I wonder. Interesting. Whoops. Don't do that. Do I do song reactions? Not usually, DBD Stalker. We usually, like, soundless stream, if that makes sense, because we usually do, like, productivity and stuff. And also, I don't want to play any copyrighted music because some of my stuff does get uploaded to YouTube as well. But I could react to it off stream and post it on the Discord if you want. I mean, you wouldn't see my face, so I guess it wouldn't be the same, but could try to recreate my reaction. Also, welcome in. How's it going? To do uniform spacing when you're using images is just such a... Whoops. Oh, that's really wrong. Hey, Christ Rider, how's it going? Is it Chris or Christ? Have I been saying it wrong? Have I been saying it right? Let me know. My brain and names don't always get along. Been slowly mitigating a debate. I haven't missed the descent of a clown. I don't think I see the clown boy yet. So I think you might be safe. I don't think we're at the point where ducks are getting yeeted out of the pool. So Carly's here, though. Beanie Duck is here. I don't think we have any coffee yet because we don't have any of the heat ducks. Okay, you guys a good angle before I switch back. I'm sorry, I've been more quiet this sprint. I am concentrating on spacing. Does... Why does that one look so weird? I skipped 14, I think. Nope, I didn't. I lied. Did skip 15 though. Am I actually working? Yes! I am doing formatting for the Key to All Doors paperback, which is hopefully going to come out next Monday. Although sometimes the paperbacks are delayed by a day or so. So I am working on formatting. Well, it isn't a religious form of Knight Rider. I will let you think that. Interesting. Is it Christ Rider then? Did I say it right? I don't know why I'm just suddenly second guessing every name that I see. I guess because I'm focusing so hard on format spacing. Because it sounds like a religious version of Knight Rider and it makes me think weird things. I mean, hey. It could also just be Chris T, like somebody with the name Chris and the last name starting with T, so I don't want to say it wrong. Sounds like something someone who is a religious form of Knight Rider would say. I'm unsure if I imagine Jesus as the voice of the car like Kit, or if they're the driver of the car. Wouldn't it be like the Pope? Wouldn't the Pope be like the voice of the car? I shouldn't speculate on these things. I don't know why I feel the need to publicly disclose this information, but I'm typing it now, so I have to. I'm going to the loo for a quick restroom break. Have fun! Okay, good. How's it going, Christ Rider? What is up? I'm gonna miss the clown when I mean, the clown might not even spawn today. If you gotta pee, you gotta pee. Like... Man, Knight Rider is such a callback to my childhood. That was like my favorite show when I was a kid. I loved that car so much. Didn't care about the guy who drove the car, but I loved that car so much. There was an episode where the car got like melted by acid and I was like so sad. It was like the worst thing. I was so mad that they would hurt the car. That car was like a real person to me. I know that probably sounds really, like, silly as well, but I was, like, 6. I was, like, 6. So I didn't know that it was, like, just a computer, you know? I thought it was, like, a living car. What else would you think when you were 6? No. First half of chapter labeling done. Now we just gotta make all of the fancy titles and insert those. We probably won't get them fully finished on stream, but we're gonna get them started. Heck yeah. Final stage of the process of getting this paperback ready. Let's do it. Back from yard work. Rai, I hope it went well. Every time Ghost Pepper comes back from yard work, the poor boy is so allergy bombed. The name of the duck game is Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. Oh, I owe Peter links. I got so focused. Placid Plastic Duck Simulator on Steam. You can get the base game and like all of the DLCs for like $10 US. It's super worth it. Super chill. Rai also, if there is a duck that suits your fancy, we can name it after you. As long as there is not already a name for that duck. I have all the ducks unlocked. We're just slowly spawning them in. So if there's not, unfortunately, a D&D duck. But we do have a selection of ducks. Oh wow, we've named almost all of the Ducks Please ducks. Interesting. So long as they do not already have a name, you may claim it. I don't know about the jelly ducks because I think the name disappears if they merge, but if you want one of the jelly ducks, if somebody wants one of the jelly ducks, yard work went okay? Glad to hear it. I mean, yard work is always a pain, but as long as you didn't get, like, super allergied. Poor Ghost Pepper. So there's a look at the ducks for anyone who wants to eye up a duck. There is a dragon duck. Yes. Mine is named Valia, I think. I think it's one of the OG ducks. This one breathes fire. But she hasn't spawned yet, unfortunately, so we don't have coffee. Killing my backyard grass, which has been a year-long process. Ooh, are you going to replace it with something? Like, are you going to put flower beds or veggie beds in? Or I know that a lot of people have been getting rid of grass in their yards because it just takes so much water and effort to maintain. Grass is actually a pain to maintain. We put some garden beds in as well. It just cuts down on the amount of, like, grass maintenance you have to do. So this should be under publishing, I think. I think they were fairly recent. Just zoom through here. I called mine Puff. Oh, that's such a perfect name. Boston prayers for Peppermint. Yeah, the allergies have been rough on him this year. Right, there's the paperback one. Alright. So there's screenshots and stuff in here as well for some of the hacks that I use. So here is the link for ebooks. Remember that for an ebook, you probably want to minimize the amount of pictures that you're using because everything goes over the WhisperNet. And they do charge a very small fee for uploading, like, larger files, so keep that in mind. You want one continuous page for each chapter. You just want your beginning, like, chapter formatting to be slightly different, so that's the only time you're using, like, page breaks. And you don't really do page numbers or anything. And you have to do, like, a table of contents at the beginning because it'll become clickable. And then for the paperbacks, you want it to look exactly the way you want it to look on the page. So remember that the first page is going to be on the right side of the book. And the second page, page 2, is going to be the back side of that book. So all of your odd numbered pages are going to be on the right-hand side of the book. And all of your even numbered pages are going to be the backs of those. Important to remember. And there are some tips and tricks in there. I use, for all of my books, I use the 5x5 by 8, 5.5 by 8.5 book size. I'm about to take a break. I'll go grab one and show you what that looks like. Your page settings will be slightly different depending on the trim setting that you're using. So make sure that you've chosen the trim size that you want for your paperback book first. And you can actually get a template that will show you some of this stuff as well. But then once you have all of your stuff set up, you can go through. I have some screenshots on there. And there are things that you want to keep an eye out for. If there's anything I didn't cover in the blogs that you have a question about, let me know, and I can answer. Doing all local ground cover plants, which don't grow higher than 3 inches. Ground cover is great because you don't need to maintain it a lot. And we have some really cool ass succulents that grow out in our front, like beside the tree that's out there, and they're super awesome. I love it. It is because we all went ducks, please. Debating growing an orange tree or a lemon tree, but they take so long to grow. You can get like little ones that are in the house. And you need to tend them so carefully and make sure that they have the right pH. Yeah, sometimes gardening does require a lot of work. I am not the green thumb in our house. Ghost Pepper is. My lawn is kind of rough with the holes and the hill in it, so cutting is a pain, and I don't want to do it anymore. 100% fair. Plus, you're gonna save, like, so much extra water as well by having, like, ground cover, that because it probably doesn't need as much as the grass does. Peter, no problem. That's what I made these for. And like I said, if there's anything I didn't cover on there that you have a question or concern about, let me know, and I will do my best to answer. I tried to get some visuals in there, some screenshots and stuff to show you what everything looks like. But if there's something that seems unclear, let me know, and I can try to get you some screenshots on Discord. 3 inches is a perfectly acceptable height. Oh hey, Crescent Duck is here. I am gonna take a quick break, and get up and do my steps and whatnot. I'm probably gonna stick around for about another hour. So I don't know if we'll get like 2 full sprints in, but I'll definitely be sticking around probably until about 1:30 my time. It's about a little after 12:30 now. I want to try and at least get these chapter labels made so that I can just insert them after lunch and get all of my final adjustments done before I move on to other tasks. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Yawns. Free stretch. So, we're gonna do that. If you need to grab something to drink, hit the washroom, grab some food, whatever, please remember to take care of yourself because you can't do anything if you aren't taking care of yourself. And I will be right back with more whatever tangent we end up going on while I'm screwing around with making letters look pretty. So I will see you I'm back. I was listening to the same thing as you were. I just want it to be known that I don't curate this list. This is this is J Chili's stream list. He does keep saying that he's gonna go through and remove all of the words with all of the songs with lyrics, but I guess he hasn't. I thought the backing track for that song was nice, but some of the lyrics I hope I was mishearing. I was unfortunately in the restroom, and so I could not change the song more quickly than I did. But that happened. If you guys ever do hear a song like that that is wild, please do let me know, because I often don't listen to the same thing as you guys. I usually have my white noise on, which I can't stream. But yeah, I usually just skip anything with lyrics by default anyway, because I'm talking here, and I don't want anything with lyrics playing during sprints and stuff. Sorry about that. If I had been still doing my steps, I could have diverted in here a little bit sooner, but I was not able to reach my computer any more quickly. When I say white noise, what does it sound like? So for me, well, that noise is white noise, the static noise. White noise is any kind of repetitive noise that is meant to fade into the background. So I often use rain sounds. I use mynoise.net, which has a lot of ambient sounds, a lot of atmospheric sounds, and even a lot of music backgrounds that you can use. The owner has asked that people not stream their drones, as they're called, on Twitch without first getting permission and paying like a licensing fee. So when I listen to that, I use my iPad to do it, usually during writing and editing streams. So I usually don't hear the same things you guys hear. This stream list is, again, curated by J Chili. He uses this on all of his streams as well, and he's kind of the keeper of the list. He's put many hours into finding stream-safe music that can be on this list, and I appreciate that. He and I don't always share the same taste in music, though, so every now and then I do skip a song. Many, many years ago, I used the ambient noise of the USS Enterprise D as white noise. They have something very similar. They have a warp engine one on mynoise.net. It's not like the licensed one, but it's designed to sound pretty similar. I think it's called like hyperspace or something. The noise of the engine in the ship cruising through space. Exactly. Anything like that is like considered white noise. The idea of it is that it helps you like drown out other things that are around you so that you can focus better. And I'm a big user of white noise. I use it when I sleep. I use it when I write. I like rain a lot. I like the rain sounds. But they have pretty much something for everyone on mynoise.net. So, and if you toss them a $5, you can unlock all of the drones pretty much forever. So, it's worth it. Not the warp noise, just the impulse engine noise. Yeah, they have something similar. I think it's called hyperspace on mynoise. They have, and you can adjust it, right? So it has different sounds. So you could like turn off bits and pieces of it and just leave the parts that you like, if that makes sense. And all of their drones are like that. Very, very customizable. You can see people who have like donated can save their settings with a little comment, and you can click to see what settings people have saved. And you can even calibrate the website specifically to your hearing and your headphones, so that when you load a specific drone, you can load your calibration as well, and it will sound like specifically good for you. It's super cool. I plug that place all the time. I use it a lot. I need to top up my donation over there. Super cool site. Would be super cool to use for D&D sessions as well, but again, they ask that you not stream it, so... Speaking of handsome starships, I've just started Discovery Season 2. Nice! I didn't really get into Discovery, in all honesty, so I have not much to say about it. I think we covered what I had to say about it the last time it came up. Alright, for those who are doing spronting, let's get the spront on. The spront timer. And my first task is I have to remember what size font I made these labels in so that I can make the new ones match. Because of course, did I write it down? No. I just assumed that 2 months in the future I would remember what I did. It wasn't as if I knew that my hard drive was going to die at the time and I was going to have to reinstall everything. Chapter labels. Okay. Actual pixels. Yeah, let's use this horrible yellow color. Thank you. These are bold, of course, so it's gonna be... guide here, I think. might be it right there. It might be 50, maybe. I might have done it at 55. Okay, we're just gonna... assume that I did them at 55 and hope for the best. So now I need LibreOffice. Enjoy your lurk! Have a wonderful rest of your day as well. I hope you got much productivity done today, Mirai. Especially because at the start of Discovery Season 2, she's nose to nose with 1701, and I don't like that original USS Enterprise, but she's gorgeous in this show. Nice. We really only saw like 4 episodes of Discovery. No, I don't want a tour of your thing. I just want to use your program. Thank you. No! Oh, right, I remember. Some of these might actually be smaller because they're long names, but that's okay. I remember how I did this. I kind of remember how I did this. Sort of remember how I did this. I made them big so they would scale. Not enjoying the second season as much as the first, which I poked and pulled apart a lot in Discord with some friends, and every episode I was like, why this, why that? Hey, if you're enjoying watching it, that's the most important thing, really. I must not have done these at 55 because they're all... A hydrate and a stretch for Pi. Pi, how's Portal going? And a stretch. A stretch. Okay. Let's try that again. We'll see what 54 looks like. Okay. I gotta remember how to do this. Where's the button? Here's my special. Nope. Shit. Format. There it is. Oh, thank goodness for Discord message history. Alright. Somewhere in here, I guess? Right, features. I was very concerned, Peter, but I'm okay now. I found the button I needed. I found the button I needed. That's how I turn that off. Ah! Buttons can be big time hoes. Sometimes you just need to find, why is it not letting me go in there? Hang on. There we go. To make that ever so slightly smaller. Why is it not doing what I want it to do here? Why are you fighting me on this? Oh, maybe it has to be a capital S. Maybe that's why. Boo! I don't like that. I don't like when you won't let me do what I want to do. I'm sure this is super exciting listening to me just mutter about these chapter labels. Thank goodness I've learned how to turn off some of these weird formattings in this font. It drives me nuts. I don't know if I figured that out for the first book. There's a lot of trial and error in getting this to look the way I want it to look. Basically turning the special characters on and off to see what they look like. The things I will go through just to have a couple of special characters sprinkled throughout these books, you guys. Like, this is a huge pain in the ass just to make something look a tiny little bit better. Listen, I just really care a lot about how my stuff looks. Let it never be said that I don't care about how my stuff looks. Oh, goodness. And this is a really fiddly process, but at the end of the day, it does look pretty rad, so... Also, my cover artist picks these really, like, cool, awesome fonts for the covers, and I really want to show off, like, that design choice with my, like... With my, interiors. So I'm kind of paying homage to the hard work that she does by doing this. But dang, sometimes I just want to be like, no. Why? It's probably gonna have to go down quite far. Why is there a ticking clock in this song? How did that happen? Cat's Chaos Cafe, welcome in! Thank you so much for the raid! How's it going? Perhaps the prophecy will be fulfilled tomorrow. Perhaps! If they don't get me by then. Mad lad, do not say too much. Cat's Chaos Cafe, how's it going? How was your stream today? I am muttering at chapter labels at the moment because I am formatting a paperback, but it has gone pretty well, actually. I do not think I'm going to get quite as far as I hoped because I forgot how fiddly a process this is, but I do think it is going pretty well. Made some wax melts for an order. Got those packed, but I think I'm going to go to the new Dollar Tree by my house. Heck yeah. Are you looking for anything in particular? Life is hard for the Fibly process. It is. But you know what? You gotta test a bunch of things and see what looks the best before you make a decide. Like, sometimes that's just how it goes. I wish to experience this tree of dollars. We don't exactly have the Dollar Tree. I think we have, like, Dollar Village or something like that. We have something very similar in Canada. It's a slightly different name. We can take you when you visit, Peter. What size is this? Why isn't it telling me? Why are you concealing things from me? Dollar Tree up prices, so it should be the 125 store. We were talking about that the other day. Poundland is a bit differently. A bit different. Canadian Tire and the dollar store are different. Also, we spell it T-I-R-E. Canadian Tire, T-I-R-E. The Canadian way. Just to wander and probably buy what I don't need. Hey, sometimes you just gotta browse and see what your heart feels like having. I don't know why you wouldn't call a Canadian dollar shop the loony bin. There's gotta be one somewhere, Peter. Have to go back home because I got the wrong card for my sandwich. No, Kiki, I'm so sorry. Do you get to take your sandwich with you? Do you get to keep the sandwich though? I don't like that at all. Well, maybe I should try. No, I don't like that. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. I will share. I'm sure he's probably heard it before, Peter, but I will share it with him. It's like a deep cut Canadian joke, not even made by Canadian. I'm sure that there is a store somewhere called the Looney Bin. There has to be. Kiki, I hope you're able to get your sandwich. Oh my goodness. Slowly making my way through all these. Oh my goodness. Oops. Let's do... Oops. I'm gonna fix that as well. How many of these have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do 3 more. 3 more! At least 3 more, and then we'll wrap up. Come on. Fit on the dang same page. Thank you. No! Oh, god damn it. I hit the wrong button. I'm getting tired and I hit the wrong button. It's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be like this. I Google searched the loony bin and the only one I can find is in Princeton and they appear to have an incredible selection. I mean, there you go. It exists. It's out there. Frankly, I don't know why it's not a national chain. Like, you'd think. You would think. Oops. It gets really annoyed at me when I try to select one letter. It's like, why are you only selecting a single letter? You need to select more than one letter. And I'm like, because I only want you to select one letter. Thank you. I don't want you to select all of the letters. I want you to select merely the letters which I have decided to select. And then, have to do it the long way. You can select singular letters. I know you can. It's not that hard. Actually, I don't like this either. I'll leave it. We'll leave it. They have in a quote, "The Great Canadian Meat Jumbo Smoked Sausage." That sounds about right. Hot. Except it's $5, which is not exactly a loonie. That's 5 loonies. That's 2 toonies and a loonie, or 5 loonies. Lies and slander. I want to phone the loony bin. They have a phone number. I just want to say hi. That's going to be an expensive phone call, Peter. Just... Just so you know, that's going to be an expensive phone call. I mean, I guess unless you have free international, but... Goodbye, bot. I need to get Seribot installed. I keep forgetting. I do have a point in my schedule where I'm going to have to take a break coming up, and I think one of the things I will try to do during that break is install Seribot. No, we don't like the G's, so there we go. Alright, they have 10 left to go. Which means this is probably a good place to start wrapping up. I have all these lovely, you can't see them, but I've made some of these lovely chapter labels to go in this beautiful paperback that's almost finished. Heck yeah. Super excited. I need to update the right tip, you guys. But eliminate filter words. Put your reader directly in your character's head. Clown Duck will wait. He didn't show up today. He's, you know, he's busy. He's haunting someone else at the moment. It wasn't time yet. It wasn't yet the appointed day. But yeah, eliminate filter words, put your reader directly into the brain of your character. Instead of saying they felt the soft surface of the table, describe the soft velvetyness of the table, describe the sound of the something. Every now and then, filter words are useful, but for the most part, get rid of them as often as you can. Prophecies do take time. Troll in the dungeon. I thought you ought to know. All right, let's see. First of all, let's save the ducks. So that I don't inadvertently forget later. Let's see who's on. Why is it doing that? Hang on. Because J Chili probably isn't streaming at this point in time, at this juncture. Even though that's what tried to load up for me. Let's see. French Toast is on. We might pop over there. I know we raid French Toast a lot, but we didn't raid her last week, so I feel like we'll raid her this week, even if she's getting close to ending. If so, we will ride the raid train. Always a pleasure. French Toast is super chill, also a writer and productivity streamer, and does cross-stitching often during her breaks, which I also do. Hang on. Hang on, you guys haven't seen an update of this in quite some time. There we go. It's coming along. The wings are happening. The moon is happening. It's all happening. It's all happening. It's filling in. It's getting there. Super excited. Sounds like a more in-depth version of Show Don't Tell. I mean, kind of. Knowing when to tell is important. Because sometimes you can't always show. Sometimes you do have to tell the reader things in order to move the story along without it getting bogged down in too many details. But when you're talking about your five senses, smell, taste, touch, hearing, I missed one. But you know, when you're talking about your five senses, you want those to be as visceral for your reader as possible. So describe the smell of moss after rain. You know, he inhaled the scent of must and moss and earth and ozone. You know, go into the description, talk about the earthiness, talk about the solidity of something or the softness of something, but don't put a filter between your reader and those things. Smell, touch, taste, hearing, soup. There we go, the five senses. You know, writing is a balancing act. It's all about knowing when to do certain things, and sometimes it's really hard because it's subjective as to whether or not you should do something at a certain point in time, and everyone's going to tell you different. But in general, use those filter words as little as possible, unless you want to put space between the character and the reader for some reason, unless you want to put an odd emphasis. Like, there's a time and a place for passive voice. It's when you want to put the emphasis on the object rather than the action, then you use passive voice. But otherwise, you don't want to use passive voice because you want it to be more active, right? So passive voice has its uses, but you only want to use it sparingly. There's a freebie for you. Let's get the raid going. Did I actually copy French Toast's name? I will be back tomorrow. Same Striker time, same Striker channel. We will be doing editing for the next 2 streams. So we'll be working on Beyond the Moon's Beams pretty much exclusively for the rest of this month. We will be doing some prompt novel stuff, so keep an eye out for that. Heads up that for the second part of July and possibly the first part of August, I will be taking a stream break. I have to do an out loud edit. It doesn't really lend itself to streaming, so I will have to take a break. But it'll be a good opportunity for me to do some resetting, some development of the channel, and hopefully get some things set up for you guys that I've been promising when I get back, such as getting Seribot installed and getting some new channel points redeems. And stuff like that. So just a heads up well in advance, as that's going to be happening in the second part of July, beginning of August. I'll keep you updated as we get closer. Michelle the Alpaca, thank you so much for hanging out, and everyone who popped by today. Peter the Mad Lad, Mirai, Cat's Chaos Cafe, thank you so much for the raid. Please take care of yourselves. If I missed you here at the end, I still love you. It's just because the timer's running out and I gotta go. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, and until then, I hope the creativity flows for you. You're all amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you soon.